Hello, and thank you so much for taking some time to watch our webinar. So my name is Trey Viant. This is my wife, Marissa. We actually live down here in Tampa, Florida. So I know depending where you are in North America, you could be anywhere across the US, anywhere in Canada. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to watch our webinar and learn a little bit more about our business. But a little more behind our business itself is it's actually a family business that my parents started about 35 years ago. A simple way to explain what we do, we like to share that we have an education-based financial services agency. And a lot of the time when people hear financial services, what they think of folks in big fancy suits walking up and down Wall Street with a bunch of money. But unfortunately, traditional financial services, in our opinion, is really only focused on trying to help the top 10% of the wealth in North America. And we know about 70 to 80% of folks are in the lower middle class to the upper middle class, and they lack the appropriate financial education, professionals, and financial literacy really to be successful. So we're going to walk through a brief overview on some of the financial education that we provide here. And we're also going to really focus in on our expansion opportunity. So we have folks that work with us all across the US, all across Canada, really individuals that are looking for residual passive income. We'll continue to expand on that and to own your own business. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it to my wife, Marissa, and she's going to walk through and share a little bit more about our company and some of our concepts.
Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us here today and investing some time to learn about our business. So the name of our company is Primerica. You may or may not have heard of Primerica before, because the key is we don't advertise like some other large financial services companies you may be familiar with. We rely solely on a word of mouth or referral-based business, just one happy client to another, which in our opinion is the best form of advertising anyway. So a little about Primerica. We're the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Been around since 1977. We're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. As of 2020, we became a member of the Fortune 1000. And this is actually a new statistic as of, I think, a couple months ago. But Primerica was recently rated the #1 most trusted life insurance company and #3 most trusted financial company by Investors Business Daily, all of North America. So that includes the US and Canada. And this last one here, this is my favorite statistic of all. But Primerica as a whole has more 100,000 to 1 million above earners than any other company in North America. You want to guess who #2 is? #2 is actually Microsoft. So we like to share this up front because obviously, as you can see, Primerica's been in business for a long time, have had a lot of people see financial success. And of those people that have seen that success, we operate very similar to real estate, broker agent model. And those are the people that go on to run their own agency that have that type of success that you see here. So there's a lot going on this slide, but you can see Primerica in the middle and a bunch of other companies along the outside. Some you're probably familiar with if you live in the US because they're our US partners. But really what we are, we're a marketing distribution company. So we have agreements with all the companies you see along the outside to market their products through our distribution. So you see anything from life insurance to all different kinds of investments, mortgage loans. It's actually an agreement we have with Rocket Mortgage. So our goal is to really be like a one-stop shop for anyone's financial needs. Again, like Trey had shared, specific to that middle income market. And the analogy that we like to use, because we all probably shop on Amazon more than we like to admit. I know it's getting to be around that time of year. We're all shopping on Amazon, right? A lot. But when you're shopping on Amazon, there's a bunch of different companies that use Amazon's platform to get their product out to the market. They're third-party sellers. It's not actually Amazon's marketing their products. So same exact thing here. Primerica, we're like the Amazon of financial services. All of our partner companies use our distribution to get their products out to the market. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense on how our model works. On this next slide here, you'll see our Canadian partners. So obviously different companies between the US and Canada. But again, things like life insurance, different types of investments. We have disability benefits, debt solutions up there. So awesome, awesome partnerships we have with our Canadian companies as well. If you're watching this and you're in Canada, you may see some companies you're familiar with here as well. All right, so now we're going to talk about the market that we serve. Why are people having so many financial challenges? Well, we know the last couple of years have exposed weaknesses in many areas, but really in people's finances. And there's really been 5 main areas we've been able to help our clients over the last couple of years. So number one, people didn't have an emergency fund. They may have been laid off or furloughed, had a loss of income, or just had a really big unforeseen expense come up that they weren't prepared for, and they didn't have a cushion to fall back on. So what were they doing? They were relying on credit cards and unfortunately racking up credit card debt. So what we do is we teach the importance of having an emergency fund and how to get one set up so you're not in that situation ever again. Number two, people have poor investments and low returns. Just to be frank, most people we talk to have no investments and no returns. So we talk about the importance of getting things set up for retirement in the US, Roth IRA, traditional IRA in Canada, RRSP, TFSA, all those different types of things for retirement. So we teach the importance of that and how to get those set up, heading in the right direction for retirement. Number three, no life insurance or the wrong type. Believe it or not, there's a good and a bad type of life insurance, which Trey will touch on briefly in just a bit. Number four, people have too much debt and no plan to eliminate it. I think that's now, and that's all the time. People always have a lot of debt and no way to get out of it. We have different strategies that helps our clients get out of debt sooner than they would if they continued on their normal track. And finally, number five, 100% of people's income was dependent on a job, didn't have recurring income or side business. Now, obviously, if you're here in this webinar, you might be interested in learning about our opportunity. So, of course, we're here to talk about this, but we know the last couple of years, people have realized that their jobs that were once secure are not as secure as they once were. So people are now looking for either a way to diversify their income, have a side hustle, or make a complete career change, which, of course, we're here to share with you on this webinar today. So this is really the market that we serve. I'm going to pass it to Trey to go through some of the education and more about our business.
Awesome. Thank you, Marissa. So to pick up where Marissa left off, pick off, that works too. You just combine them both. You can see we're real people as well. We want to make sure that that's showcased through this. So one of the most important financial concepts that we teach is something called the Rule of 72. So in our opinion, the Rule of 72 is really the foundation of compound interest. So to walk you all through this, what the Rule of 72 says, it says divide your interest rate into the number 72 to find the approximate number of years it takes for your money to double. So for the purpose of this example, we have 3 separate interest rates. We'll see what happens to this money over time. So we know that 3 goes into 72, 24 times. That money doubles twice over that 48-year time period. Now we know that 6 goes into 72, 12 times. So that same 10,000, you didn't put another penny in, it grew to 160,000. Now I know all of you can see what's happening. So you know 12% is going to be a huge number, but I'll talk about some of the implications of this. 12 goes into 72 6 times. So that same 10,000 would grow to over 2.5 million, which is amazing. I mean, every time we see it, we still get excited about this. And what we like to call the 12% to the 3%, that's obviously a $2.5 million difference. We like to say that's a $2.5 million educational opportunity cost. That's what it costs someone not to know this and put it into practice. And there's a lot of ways you'll be able to do this yourself and to teach others how to do this and help them put themselves in a better situation. The next topic I'm going to cover here very briefly, like I mentioned, it's like our speed education here, is life insurance. And life insurance is something that many people, they know that it's important, but they're not really sure how it works. So just to walk you through this, there's 2 main types of life insurance that are really out there in the marketplace. There's something that's called cash value life insurance, could also be known as whole life, universal life, variable life. To keep it very simple, what it is, it's any type of insurance and savings product that's tied together. This works the same in US as it does in Canada too. So in this example, you can see there's $150,000 of coverage on John and Mary. They're paying $295 a month for their monthly premium. That's how much they're paying for their insurance. And that cash value, which is the savings, would grow to $124,000 at age 65. Now, what these companies don't share with their clients, it could be Northwestern Mutual, Mass Mutual, New York Life, Sun Life, Canada Life. What they don't share with their clients is that if something were to happen to John, the insurance company is going to pay the $150,000 and they keep that savings, that $124,000, for themselves. They essentially rob the family of that savings. Now I'm going to explain what we do here at Primerica and why. And again, this is a brief overview for you guys. At Primerica, we only market term insurance. Now, term insurance works just like your car insurance. It's just protection. There's no savings tied to it. So you're able to have more for less. And just like we all have car insurance, we don't drive around planning to get into an accident. In the event we did, we're covered. Purpose of any type of insurance. So you can see in this case, we can put $400,000 of coverage on John and Mary, $10,000 on their kids for $126 a month. On their old plan, they were paying $295 a month. With us, they're paying $126. And if you remember that rule of 72 I just went through on the last slide, we take the difference, which is $169, and we invest it on behalf of that client. And that investment can grow to over $500,000 at age 65. So the numbers themselves tell the story. They're incredibly clear, right? But what we always like to share with folks as well is that if something were to happen to John and the family's on the Primerica plan, Primerica is going to pay that family the $400,000, and they get whatever is in that investment. So it's very simple. It's very clear. That's a big area that we help to properly educate a lot of our clients. Now, to speak a little bit more to that, so whoever invited you out to watch this webinar, they'd be more than happy to run something called a financial needs analysis for you. This would be more on our client side of things. To keep it simple, what that is, it's like a financial GPS. So the concepts that I walked through, the rule of 72, insurance, whoever invited you out here would be more than happy to run this complimentary financial needs analysis for you. That way you can get a financial roadmap for your own life, because every family has unique financial needs. So contact them. They'd be more than happy to run this after we wrap up here. Now, I'm going to transition and speak more to our expansion and our opportunity. Marissa talked a little bit to this at the beginning, but just to reiterate, and I believe I mentioned this at the beginning, but our business as a whole, we have about 1,600 licensed agents across the U.S. and Canada, and a little bit over $2 billion of assets under management. That's money that's invested on behalf of our clients. So a lot of folks that we've helped see success through growing their own business. Now you have some exposure to our education. We're going to really focus in on our expansion and our business opportunity. So the way that we've chosen to operate, we have a 100% virtual business system. Everything can be done remotely. When people begin working with us, they can start working with us part-time around their schedule. We like to call that second career. Just like you may know some folks that they have their real estate license or another type of license, maybe they're a personal trainer and they do that in addition to their 9 to 5. Many people are able to start that way here with us as well, and we allow them to start second career and then make a career change over time. There's a low cost of going into business, which I'll elaborate on one of these other slides here. The people that begin working with us don't have to come in with existing business, sales, or financial experience. It's great if they have some, but that's why I shared we have 1,600 licensed agents that work with us from all kinds of different backgrounds. Important thing there being we have a training program designed to help them be successful. Number 4, online professional licensing, education, training, and bonuses. In fact, when someone's in their training, which is usually about 30 to 60 days, they're able to bank money that gets paid out when they get their permanent license. For most people, that's between about $800 to $1,000. They bank and earn as bonus money just to go through their training. And number 5, and this is the big picture, and I'll share a little bit more about Marissa and I and where our vision is, and I know it will excite you as well, but there's many people that have always wanted to own their own business, but they don't know what it would be, how they would start it, what they would market, especially after the past couple of years. So what we offer is the opportunity for people to run their own agency and qualify for ownership of their business. So for someone to own their own business, there's 2 things they would have to do. Number 1 is they would become what's called a regional vice president. This is just like a broker in real estate, someone that runs their own office or agency. Number 2 is they would have an annual income of $300,000 a year or more. Now, when they do that, they own that business, and that business is worth 10 to 12 times whatever their annual income is. So on the low side, that's a $3 million business. That's an income producing asset they can pass down to their family. That's a legacy. And I want to be very clear, I'm not sharing that just with sunshine and rainbows to say that happens overnight or folks don't work extremely hard to get there. Of course, that's the case. But the reason I share that is 99% of you viewing this webinar, you already work hard at whatever you're doing. Regardless of how hard you choose to work, you're never going to own whatever it is that you're working towards. That's the big difference here. And a little bit into Marissa and I's background. So we're both 28, and we had some success in corporate before we came here and decided to plant our flag and really build our business. And when we were in corporate, we left when we were both 26. Our combined income was about 250 grand US. I know in Canada, that's like 1.5 million. Just kidding, for our Canadians with the exchange rate, but 250 grand. And it wasn't about where we were. It was about where we were headed. Very important, because our goal is to be full owners by the time that we're 30, right? So in about 3 to 4 years, our goal is to go from 0 to 300,000, and we're well on track to doing that. And I share that not to say, well, that's good for them. It's to excite you about what's possible for you and your family. And just to elaborate on this a little bit more, and I'll share some more stats with you. I love this slide. What are the odds, right? The odds of someone winning the Powerball lottery, about 1 in 292 million. Call it 300 million, right? People are always going to be buying lottery tickets. They always want to get rich quick. The odds a licensed Primerica rep makes $1 million or more a year, 1 in 1,048. But look at this last one too, because $1 million might be so far out there. But everybody can relate to this. The odds a licensed Primerica rep makes $100,000 a year or more are 1 in 30. And the most important part about these statistics is that you're in control. You decide how quickly you want to accelerate your income, build your family business. And we're so fortunate, and I'll share here just where it shares the million as well, is that my parents, when they started their Primerica business about 35 years ago, they're very fortunate to see a lot of success. But for about the past 20 years, our family business has been paying our family a passive residual income of $1.3 million a year. So again, that's not to say that happened overnight, that it didn't come without a lot of hard work or doesn't take hard work today. But the point being is that there's many other folks that we've trained that have gone on to become full owners in their own right and own businesses in excess of $3 million all the way up to 20 million, right? Unbelievable when you think about it, from wherever anybody started, wherever they came from. We have about 30 individuals that have done that and over 100 regional vice presidents, just to give you confidence that this is a duplicatable system, that we know exactly how folks, what they need to do to be successful. So just to speak a little bit more to this, and then we'll wrap things up. Of course, then the next question is, this is great. How exactly do I get started in training? So when someone gets started in training here, it's typically a $99 one-time licensing fee. Now, I like to equate that back to any other type of professional license someone may get. Maybe it's a real estate license. Maybe it's personal training certifications people get. Most of the time, people pay out of pocket for the licensing fees, the exam prep to take the state or provincial exam. There's still licenses folks have to get to work with us, but we pay and sponsor for all of those costs up front as an investment in you to help you build your business. At the same time, we're also providing the leadership, mentorship, and guidance for you to be successful. Because you see, when it comes to a vehicle like Primerica, and I'll always go down and say that Primerica is the greatest business opportunity in North American business. That's bar none. For someone to start a business and make a gigantic impact and create a legacy for their family. But just because it's the right vehicle, it also depends on who the driver of that vehicle is or who's in the passenger seat, right? If your great grandma's in a Corvette, she's still driving. She's probably not going 130 or whatever it could be, right? So the point of me sharing that is not only do you have a great vehicle in Primerica, the most lucrative industry in the world of financial services, but you also have a time-tested and proven system to show you exactly how to be successful. So just in wrapping this up, as we will always be respectful of your time, is please get with the person that invited you out to this webinar, number one. You can walk through your complimentary financial needs analysis. And then finally, number three, submit your independent business application and get started here in training with us. And Marissa and I greatly appreciate your time here today. We look forward to meeting many of you in the very near future. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.